I think it's fair to say that statistics show that the traditional church in America is struggling. I don't think any of us would argue with the fact that less people attend church now and that church is less effective than it was in America a few decades ago. Ministry wanes or youth ministry fails. Our approach has been just to redouble our effort and work harder using the same model to try to bring kids into the church. Our experience is that isn't really successful. If we were going to reach these kids that the church wasn't reaching, it had to be something that didn't look like church, didn't feel like church, didn't sound like church. And God put this crazy seed of an idea in our mind that He was calling us to something different and to something more, and that it had to be something that didn't follow traditional models. So the result was the 3 Mile Project, and we wanted to create a place that was non-pressuring, non-intimidating, didn't look like church, didn't feel like church, didn't sound like traditional church, but where we could bring kids through the door to help them build community, to provide a safe and positive place where they can belong, where we can express God's love, where we can be a demonstration of the joy that comes from knowing Christ, and ultimately where we can break down walls, where we can soften hearts, and where we can plant seeds in an effort to be a demonstration of God's love to young people in the community. This idea of providing a non-pressuring, non-intimidating environment has been fundamental to what's happened here. I believe that we've earned the respect and the trust of folks in the community, parents and students, because we've stayed true to this idea that we have no expectations with regard to faith. We don't preach a message as a part of our ministry here. But the flip side of it is, we're very honest about who we are, we're very honest about what we believe, and we really think that love is a powerful tool, even if it's just being demonstrated. You know, the old saying that more is caught than taught. And if we can be honest, if we can be loving, if we can be encouraging, if we can be positive, we are absolutely convinced that this is ministry, that love is ministry, that God is using this ministry to do amazing things for His kingdom here. When you're planting seeds, some are called to plant and some are called to reap. And this is definitely a first step, point of first contact ministry where we really believe God has called us to prepare the fields and to plant the seeds. And the frustration that comes with that is this idea that we don't always get to see the results. In fact, in most instances, we don't get to see the results. That doesn't minimize the importance. The seeds have to be planted somewhere. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of seed planting going on in our culture. So we really have done our best to be obedient and faithful to this idea that God has called us to this particular ministry of softening hearts, of breaking down barriers, of planting seeds, and then being content with the idea that the further ministry and maybe the more personally gratifying ministry happens somewhere else down the road that we won't know about this side of heaven. But we do know the Bible is full of encouragement about these seeds have to plant, the soil has to be right, and this all happens in God's timing, and that we're playing an important role in that process. And what God's shown us here at the 3 Mile Project is that His love is alive and well. And the more that we spread it, the more we see it grow.